Get it on.
Show the audience, please.
Sorry. Hola.
Hi.
I'm not sure what you said.
Okay.
All right. All right. Today I am going to talk to you about a problem that I face every day. Picking out my outfit. Now you may think this problem is minuscule or dumb, but picking out the right outfit dictates a lot about how people are going to perceive you for that day. I'm first going to prove my point by showing you a set of pictures. Then you're going to tell me which picture portrays the person that is more responsible or more dependable. Okay? So what would you say? Would you say the first picture or the second picture?
First.
The first picture with the uniforms? Okay. And we have another one. These guys or these guys? Who would you trust? The first picture or the second picture? The first picture with the uniforms. Okay. Now I know these examples are a bit exaggerated, but you can see how something as superficial as clothing can portray either a desirable or undesirable image. Okay, you can remember. This problem was so much bigger when I was in high school because I would worry about what all my classmates would think of me. You know, and I would stand in front of my closet with all my clothes in front of me, and I would think that I had nothing to wear. And even if I did have something to wear, I would just walk into school, and I would find that somebody's wearing something better or cooler than me. So I'm going to convince you that school uniforms are a better option for students by showing you how uniforms increase individuality, they promote creative self-expression, and they actually lower the cost for parents. Okay, the first point I will make is increased individuality. Many people who disapprove of school uniforms argue that students won't be able to distinguish themselves from others just because they're wearing the same outfit. I don't know, because now let's think about this. Do you really think that kids won't be able to tell themselves from their classmates just because of their outfit? Do you really want kids to feel like that they're not unique enough, that, you know, they need to wear an outfit to show it? Of course not. Let's think about when you walk into work and everyone's wearing a uniform. Do you instantly forget who you are because your coworker is wearing the same shirt as you? No. And would you really want your child to really be that superficial anyways, that the only way that they can judge their differences is by their clothing choice? To me, this idea is very far-fetched, just to knock down school uniforms. School uniforms force kids to show their uniqueness in other ways, like expressing themselves through music, art, or athletics. Wearing the same outfit levels the playing field. There's no competition between what you're wearing, what your classmates are wearing. There's no focus, on what brand someone else is wearing, or that a kid's wearing the same sweater the entire week. Now, kids don't feel like outcasts solely because of their clothing, and they now have a chance to become friends with people who they wouldn't have normally become friends with. Students are going to be drawn together based on their beliefs instead of their brands of clothing. And isn't that something we would prefer for our kids anyway? I mean, if I had a choice for my daughter to make friends with somebody who has the same belief system as her or who wears the same brand as her, I'm going to pick the belief system anytime. But that's just me. Secondly, talking about our kids' belief systems. Many protesters of school uniforms believe that students will lose the ability to express themselves. While I do agree they lose the privilege to use their clothing to convey their ideas, many non-uniform schools don't allow for this type of expression anyway. When I was in school, we had strict clothing rules about displaying ideas on our clothing as well. So we were in the same predicament as uniform students would be. The students, again, are being forced to be more creative. What a shame, right? In my school, we had to think a little bit out of the box. I remember to protest the abuse against the LGBT community, we came up with it's a national idea, but the Day of Silence. Instead of wearing a shirt or armband to get our message across, students took a vow to not speak for a day, to show how bullying silences the gay community. Another recent example from the peaceful side of the Ferguson protests is where people will either sit or lie down to represent their opposition to police. These are only two examples where individuals have gotten more creative than simply just putting a shirt on or putting an armband on to convey their message. So no, I don't believe that uniforms take away from a student's self-expression. They simply just have to become more creative in the process. These creative notions will not only deliver their message, but it will also promote creative thinking in general. Third and lastly, for the parents. School uniforms lower the cost of back-to-school spending. Now, I know parents are thinking, not only does my student need an outfit for school, but now we need an outfit for after school. It's going to cost me the double amount of money to get through just 1 year. But if you take the amount of money that is spent just on uniforms and spread it out over the years the student is in school, because uniforms don't change every year, there's no way of your classmates knowing whether or not you're wearing, the vest from last year or the pants from 2 years ago. So your kid's in school for up to 4 years, the cost becomes much more insignificant. On average, a student's wardrobe consists of 13 items: 4 shirts, 4 bottoms, 4 socks or tights, and 1 accessory like a sweater. All 13 items will cost around $250 to purchase. Now, this sounds like a lot up front, but again, you spread it over the 4 years and it becomes just under $65 a year, which is very manageable, I would think, in most families. Now, this price is similar for students who don't wear uniforms, but these uniforms can be used, like I said, year after year after year without classmates realizing. Uniforms don't go out of style like many trends do, so looking at it this way, uniforms will cost you $250 up front, covering 4 years, and non-uniform students will cost their parents $250 a year, adding up to $1,000 on average by the end of high school, which gives you a savings of $750 over 4 years. So that's plenty of extra money if your kid really needs extra outfits for after-school activities. So to wrap up my argument here, I will summarize my ideas simply. Uniforms create an even playing field for students, allowing them not to be restricted by closed labeling. It makes them more creative in many aspects of life, from becoming more involved in music or athletics to out-of-the-box thinking. Not only do uniforms benefit the students in these ways, parents will see a difference in back-to-school costs. So no, uniforms don't take away anything from the students. Simply, if you want your child to be more creative and to save a couple of dollars in the process, then school uniforms are your simplest solution. We have any questions? Thank you.
Well, I actually, I kind of disagree with you about the saving the money over the 4 years, because within 4 years of school, you can grow, you change, so then you have to buy new uniforms anyway. So how do you reason out the uniforms lasting 4 years when your kid's going to grow?
Well, I mean, I don't think I grew much from 9th grade to 12th grade. I mean, I know some students do have weight fluctuations, or, boys do have growth spurts, but I would say the majority of students aren't really they're pretty much done growing by the time they hit high school.
Okay, fair enough.
I would say. I know me personally, I'd stop growing. One more, please. Anything.
So you're just advocating school uniforms for the high school level, not for the elementary.
No, I
And
think
whatnot.
I think high school. I used high school because it was the easiest to show the cost
Okay.
perspective, because high school students they get a lot more materialistic in high school. Like, oh, she's wearing polo, she's wearing Kmart, or like they get a lot more judgmental in high school. So it's easier to show the benefits,
True.
because kids don't care what they wear when they're in elementary school. I couldn't even tell you what I wore in elementary school. So it's just a little bit easier to show the pros and cons of uniforms in the high school level. But I think students, public, private, charter, whatever school, should really look at the benefits of uniforms, because I think the pros outweigh the cons, personally.
Okay, it's a good argument.
Thank you.
Good.
Yep, we're good.